I've got a little panda eyes going on here. Just so people know it's really real.
All right. Hello, everybody. I am super excited to have you watching this video right now because I'm about to do a live, well, actually not live, a pre-recorded coaching session with a good friend here, Sharon Halliday, author of Messages from the Heart. I was actually just reading it. Where is it? I was just reading it and I was learning a lot about my friend. She was a columnist, and that's how she got this book started. I didn't know that. That's super cool, Sharon. She didn't even know that I was going to talk about this right now, so I'm kind of throwing her off. So she's about to launch a course, and I talk about discover the deep meaning. Why is your goal so important to you? And you need to discover this deep emotional meaning because meaning equals emotion. And every time you get close to the meaning, you will feel emotion is instant. This is very powerful because once you've made this discovery, you can take this emotional meaning and transform it into an emotional trigger. And that's what I want to do right now with Sharon as an example so you can see this coaching in action. We don't know how long it's going to take. It actually, because I know Sharon, it might not take very long because usually it takes long with people I don't know because I need to learn about the context of their life. But I have experience with Sharon, so technically I'm like cheating a little bit because I know her. So as you're listening, I want you to pay attention to all the interesting ways that I rephrase what she's saying. She's very intelligent. She's an angel intuitive, a certified angel intuitive. She's a Reiki practitioner. She's somebody who's walked around the block. She's been around the sun a couple times. But it's important to realize that when you can step out of your own perspective, or not, better way of saying it, when you have somebody that can look at your picture while you're in the frame, it gives this level of perspective and like answers that she might have thought were so simple. She's overlooking them because she's experiencing it. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. And Sharon, could you begin by maybe just doing an introduction, who you are, a little bit about yourself, and then we're gonna carry on from there, okay?
Sure. Well, I grew up in a little country town called Young, which is in New South Wales country, New South Wales in Australia. Grew up on a cherry farm. And what I learned from early on is that hard work and struggle is the norm. So my parents were very hardworking, worked 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And that's what I got to learn firsthand. At some point, I discovered writing at 11 when I won a poetry award. And I started to really develop my love of writing. And fast forward 26, it took me 26 years to become a published author from the time that I envisaged that, I guess, dream. So now what I do as the book Sherpa is help people write their books and get their writing published because I don't believe it should take that long for other people. I came out of a meditation one day after having, a long, dark night of the soul. And the message to me was that I went through pain so that other people didn't have to, and that I could become a guide and a mentor to people who wanted to write their books because I didn't have that. So I now become, the best mentor that I can be to help take these people along what is essentially a transformational journey. When you write a book, you are transforming yourself from the inside out. And it just so happens you have a book at the end of the process. So that's what I do now. And as you indicated, I am putting all of my, I guess, knowledge and skills into a self-paced online course because there's only one of me. So there's only so much coaching I can do one-on-one with people, even though I love that. And I know that having an online course would allow people to get access to that knowledge and information and be able to go through the process themselves at their pace, integrate the learning, and essentially at the end of it, come out with all these tools and techniques to be able to go away and write their book as they're doing the course and beyond. And so that's where I'm at in my life right now. I believe this is what I need to be doing, and it's really important to me, but I'm sure you'll discover this underlying meaning that, as you pointed out, sometimes you can be so close to it. I've had to do a lot of my own limiting decisions and releases on beliefs, going back to that whole notion of working hard, which I learned as a child, and realizing that life actually can be easy and graceful and abundant and in the flow. And that's what I'm essentially trying to teach people as they write their books. I also need to find that for myself while I'm writing the course.
Mhm.
So that's where we're
It's
at.
certainly true that it's so much easier to be the coach and the teacher than it is to be one of the 30 students and follow the teaching. It's certainly true. That's why, as a coach, you always need a coach. Even me, it's magical when I help people discover this clarity, but doing it on myself is like trying to put, a shoelace through a needle. It's like it's really difficult. So okay. Uh, Now you guys are seeing how polished Sharon is, and she's very professional at what she does. She's sought after a lot for her ability, but it's going to get a little raw, okay? Because we're going to go deep, and it's going to get personal. So for you, Sharon, I want you to know that as we're doing this, okay, we're doing it literally in one take. If at any moment you feel like I want to slow down, I want to stop, I don't want to go there, like your hands are on the steering wheel.
Got it.
Okay? Like you can hit go or you can hit stop. Okay?
Yep.
All
I
right.
feel you.
So let's begin by telling me what is it that you want?
My goal is to create this online course that I know can help people achieve their goals of writing their book in a way that is easy and manageable, and that can be integrated into their life. And at the same time, deliver me a level of abundance so that I can get on with doing the things that I need to do in my life, my business.
Okay. Deliver this course
Mm-hmm.
in a valuable fashion
Yeah. Yeah. To
to
add value to these people.
to add value to these people and
Yeah.
writing their book
Yes.
and simultaneously provide a level of prosperity for yourself.
Perfect.
Okay. So tell me about that. Why is that important for you right now?
I believe there's a timing going on here. So, I've had these skills and this knowledge inside of me that's been building. And it just sometimes feels like such a waste to not share that. Because from when I talk to my clients one-on-one, they get so much out of what I'm giving them, providing, and, working with them on their books. And it's such a joy to see their face light up when I help them understand things like structure and overcoming procrastination, and how, they can sort of break it down into bite-sized pieces so that it doesn't seem like such an overwhelming task, because, writing a book is a big gig, and it doesn't have to be so arduous. So when I see that happen for my clients, I believe that needs to happen for other people. There are so many people out there that have a book inside of them, and I think, from my experience talking to people, they just keep shelving it. They put it to the back of their mind. Life is busy. They don't know where to start. It feels overwhelming. They feel like they don't have the knowledge. And unfortunately, their story or the information they want to share just goes untold. And I think that is, from a book coach perspective, that's just such a tragedy. So I want to help with that. And as you point out, at the same time, I believe that it's an exchange. So I should also be fairly compensated for all the many, many hours of work that I'm putting into this course. And, this has been 5 years in the making. So it's been a long time getting to this moment right now. The reason I want it is because it feels like it's the right time to go out to the world with these ideas, and for me to also be open to receiving.
Mm-hmm. Now, for everybody listening, it's very important that I develop a level of clarity on exactly what it is that Sharon wants. We need to be able to put our finger on it. Okay, you're at this place, this timing in your life where you have this wealth of knowledge, this experience with writing, and you create these massive results for your clients. And a lot of people struggle with getting their book out of the
Correct.
back of their head. They shelve it, they don't get it out. You want to be able to make it not as arduous, right?
Mm-hmm.
Using your own words.
Sure.
And this course is the way to do that. And in exchange for this massive value, you want this compensation in exchange, right? Oh,
Absolutely.
okay, so tell me about the result that you're looking for.
I guess I have a mini goal within this process. There are some things that I want to do in my business and my life in terms of creating financial freedom for myself. The book coaching and this breadth of 30 years of experience. It's time for that to get out in the world, but it's also time for me to be able to invest in my business and my life. So launching the course and creating some sales is a way for me to take that to the next level. And then that frees me up to be able to help even more people. So there's this cycle, there's this flow-on effect that I can visualize of how it's kind of like a win-win for everybody involved. And so my goal within this process is to, make a minimum of $2,000 so that I can, which is the price of a coaching program, to be able to invest in myself and, take my business to another level.
Okay. Now, let me ask you a question. Does this feel like a step before you get to do something else?
Yes.
Okay. Does it feel like this is something that you need to do first before you get to do that thing that you really want to do?
Correct. Yes, you're right. Yes, there's a process. There's a sequence.
There's a sequence to it, and this is part of the sequence to that larger thing.
Correct.
So tell me about this larger thing that launching this course is part of.
All right, you've just tapped into something. I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to be really honest because that's what we're here for. And didn't think we would get there this quickly, Evan, but it's happening. So even with my, I guess, this sort of steely resolve in my own self-belief of how I can help other people write their books, there is it is unequivocal, like how I feel about my potential to do that. That is not up for question. But what I haven't seen yet is it translate into the abundance and prosperity of my business. So, and that equals financial freedom for myself and my family. So there's this untapped potential there for myself, because I haven't experienced that wealth on that level that I know I can achieve. And while we all know it's not about money, it's important we still have those goals and dreams. So for me, being able to be financially free is very, very important.
You've seen the impact that your coaching has on others, and you see how powerful your ability is with writing.
Correct.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but there's this deep sense of frustration, and maybe it even is attached to the identity that you have with yourself, seeing the gap of where you are and where you believe you could be.
100%. That you nailed it.
And this course is part of this larger picture of closing that gap.
Yes, absolutely.
So what does closing that gap look like?
There's a picture of me continuing to do my work, but feeling, fairly compensated for my efforts. I've been told by other coaches that I don't charge enough for my services. Sometimes I give my books away for free. I do a lot for like a complimentary work, and I was always taught, you give a lot and then you'll get a lot back. But I never do it for that sort of tit for tat kind of attitude. It just feels good to give. But I am at that point where I need to think a bit more seriously about how I structure my business. That is the missing piece. That's why I need to go and spend some money on myself and my business to be able to grow it, be able to do the work that I love, and at the same time not be this struggling creative.
Mm-hmm. So when you get to that point, that's the direction you're heading right now. You're on this journey toward getting to that point, not being this struggling creative, being the person who's not just fairly compensated, but compensated very well for everything that they do. When you get to that point, what does that look like?
Well, I'm doing my work. That's a big part of my days. But I'm also striking a healthy balance in my family, in my household, where I can continue to be the loving, supportive mum and wife that I am now, which does take a lot of my time and energy. But I can feel like there's more balance. And because I'm being paid appropriately for the work that I do, it just feels like ease and flow. Yeah. And it feels abundant and it feels good. It feels like you said, more than fair that all this work that I put in and then I receive back.
Now, for everybody listening, Sharon's original goal she came to me with is about creating this $2,000 profit from the launch of her course. And we're going to incorporate that into what we're doing here. But I'm going so much deeper and I'm going so much farther because every goal that we have has a real goal behind it that's driving it, the larger picture, the overarching idea. Okay, so there's this gap of where you are today and where you want to be in terms of compensating. You mentioned being the struggling creative.
Mhm.
Um, I think I have a great idea of where I want to put you next. So we're going to go into this exercise, okay?
Mhm.
Where I'm going to have you go into the future.
Okay.
First, I want you to just do a quick reset, okay? So you can even open your eyes and then close them if you want. Just do an inhale. You're doing great. Inhale deeply, exhale, and relax, okay? Just quick reset all the emotions. One more time, inhale,
I'm
and
just
then
going to grab a
exhale all
tissue.
the emotions out. Mm. Yeah, you're doing great. So um we're gonna go 2 years into the
Sure.
future. It's 2025 and it's March 7th. And I want you to imagine that you're giving me a call and you're letting me know everything that has happened in your life. And it's just like you're catching up with me, I want you to pretend like we're not recording this. And you're going like, you know what, Evan, everything that we were working on has
Hmm.
happened and even better. And it
Sure.
started with that course I launched. Oh my goodness. I was compensated in ways that I didn't even imagine. And the life that I have today with my family, my husband, my children is so much better than I could have imagined. I feel so fulfilled.
Mm.
And I want you to tell me about all of that from the perspective of 2 years from now.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to count down from three. When I get to one, you may begin. Three, two, one. Hello?
Hello, Evan.
Hey, Sharon. What's up?
Oh, you will not believe what's been happening since we last chatted. I know it's been a while.
Wow. I'm all ears. I just got home and I have all the free time. Tell me what's going on.
So as you know, we were talking about launching my online writing course, and I had that little goal of achieving $2,000 to go and invest in my business. Well, we smashed that out of the park, and through what you taught me, I was able to go and get the money that I needed and invest in myself. The launch was hugely successful. I had more money than I knew what to do with, and I was suddenly feeling just so prosperous that finally it's like this piece of the puzzle had fallen into place.
Mm,
uh, it allowed me to go and really do the work that I wanted to do in my business. And I was getting so many calls from people. People were wanting to work with me one-on-one. I was doing group coaching, which is something I always wanted to do, and I'm still doing that today. I got to take my family on their first big international trip, which was definitely on my bucket list. Taking the kids snorkeling and seeing things they'd never seen before. And now we make a point of going on, multiple international trips every year. I've got workshops all around the world. My books are going great. Yeah, it's just a marvelous place to be in. I'm feeling fantastic. It's all come together.
yeah, I'm super excited for you. That's amazing. I mean, I remember back then, it was really important for you. You really wanted this to kind of come together and to see that now you're in this place where success has really become best friends with success and you're
Sure.
traveling around the world. Your family is enjoying deep satisfaction. The course was successful. And you mentioned that it it finally felt like this piece of the puzzle was placed. Now, I want you to tell me about that
Yeah.
because 2 years ago, that piece of the puzzle wasn't there. So tell me, how does it feel now that through everything you went through back then, you were finally able to put that piece in the puzzle?
I started to realize that all that hard work I'd done before had paid off. And yet in through the process, I discovered that it actually doesn't have to be that way either. And so a lot of my life now and leading up to that course launch was about the joy that I get from doing my work. And as I was putting the course together, I could see, how this was really going to help people. So I think, that high vibration of that coming from that place of service really carried me through, because I always had that belief in my ability and my knowledge. And then as I guess the prosperity started coming in, I started to make changes in my life where I could see, it allowed me to not be from a place of stress, and instead it was easy, and it made the rest of my work easy. And I can just focus on the work that I do with love without thinking, where is the money going to come from? So I just don't have those thoughts anymore. It totally changed my whole perspective on, how this whole idea of abundance works. And, I've always been an extremely grateful person. But it's just like something clicked into place, and that I had arrived at this destiny of where I was meant to be. That's how it felt.
Yeah. And tell me about how you were when you weren't able to get this puzzle in this last puzzle in place, this last
Oh,
puzzle piece.
it was just so frustrating before. Like, I felt very busy and like I was in the trenches working hard every day on my information. Sometimes I'd have blocks, and I think that was just it wasn't a case of not believing in myself and what I could provide for people, but there was something. It was even hard to put my finger on what it was that was blocking me from believing that this was possible. And I guess it does go back to having seen my parents work very hard, and in the end we lost it all anyway. So I guess there was that probably that underlying fear, and that was creating that frustration. So once I kind of dealt with all of that and was able to just make the switch to, coming from a place of like, I love my work and I love what I do and I really want to share it with people. And I started to see, not from a place of desperation, but every day that I was kind of trying to figure things out for myself, there was someone else out there who was equally as frustrated about not getting their book done. And I guess that became my inspiration. Like, I didn't want other people to have to go through what I went through.
Mm-hmm. Was that the puzzle piece, realizing the shift between, all right, this is where I am, and as much as I want this course to get out there, but no, there's people that I'm actually helping, and focusing your attention on that, on the service. Was that the puzzle piece that you were looking for? That
Yeah.
puzzle piece to get you over that edge?
Yeah, I really had to take the approach that I get that there's this, I came in with that goal of the abundance was part of it. And I think that's important for people to see that attracting wealth is not a negative thing, because wealth allows you to do things for other people and it allows you to do so much in this world. But I really had to take the focus off myself and get back to the essence of what I was doing this for. And at the end of the day, I remembered what I went through, many, many nights and days questioning myself as a writer. Even though I loved writing and this is what I always wanted to do, it was hard. And I didn't want it to be hard. And I then didn't want it to be hard for other people. And that was my motivation to just make it happen. You know, I needed to share it as quickly as possible. Seize the day.
Now, you were in this place where you had a lot of doubt, and you saw this picture, this puzzle, that all these different pieces were put into place, but there was this damn piece right here. Like, come on, man. Like, how, like, I can see the shape, I can see what needs to happen here, but I just, every time I go to do it, it just doesn't work out. It doesn't fit. It doesn't happen.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many days I had intended to work on my course and even had it in my schedule and had blocked out the day. And then something would happen that called for my attention that was even more urgent. It was something that I couldn't have seemed to not be able to avoid, you know, stuff with kids, or suddenly had to go and do something for somebody else. And it was this constant reorganizing of my life to, okay, well, I'll try again tomorrow. And then I'd set myself up to succeed for working on the course, and something would happen again. And I really had to break that cycle.
Mm. Looking back now, we're still 2 years in the future. Tell me, what does it mean to you knowing that finally I was able to get this puzzle piece there? And it wasn't under stress. It wasn't in a destructive way. It was with peace and joy. What does it mean to you knowing you were able to do that?
Look, there was this huge weight lifted off me. It felt very liberating. It felt natural. It felt like it was meant to happen. I would have loved it to happen sooner, but I'm a big believer in timing, and that you go through certain things that teach you along the way, and they gives you, I guess, it colors your experience, and it becomes meaningful to you, but also meaningful to someone else down the track when you're helping someone else through something. But it really, for me personally, it just felt so freeing. Like you said, peace. There was just this incredible peace in my heart of that, like that I had arrived, you know, like I showed up.
Mm. Yeah, I can feel that, especially when I said that finally part. I can really see how that impressed you right there, that affected you. Now, you said you wish it would have happened sooner. What is that it? What is that thing that you wish would have happened sooner?
You know, for a brief moment, I thought, if only I had have like realized, you know what I know now, and just kind of got on with it a bit sooner, and not procrastinated myself, or not, you know, it's like you said, it's an amazing thing to be able to teach somebody else. You know, I can help anyone overcome their procrastination on writing, but I had my own procrastination going on the course for a whole host of reasons, I guess. And I really had to let go of that idea that it didn't happen sooner, because I kept going through some really hard times, you know, like when I got down to the last $25 in my account. That's a hard place to be, you know, and also not wanting to look at it like, well, I don't want to just put products and services out in the world purely to bring me income in hard and fast out of desperation. I know that is not how it works, and I don't want it to be like that. I had to keep coming back to the fact that this was, if I came from a place of serving others the way I knew how, without a shadow of a doubt, then all of my needs would be taken care of.
Mhm. You overcame yourself.
Yeah, I did. I got out of my way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
got out of your way and you were able to finally place that last puzzle piece in a gracious way.
yeah.
And there was a sense of finally this
Mm,
completion.
mm,
Like, wow, all right, I was able to do this. I was able to get out of my way. Tell
mm.
me, what is it? What what does it feel like now, knowing that you were able to do that?
Oh, it feels like, that whole notion of the sky's the limit. You begin to feel like invincible, and unlimited is a really great word. Like, because if I could do that and be up against some pretty big challenges in that process and then come out the other side, then, what couldn't I teach? Like, to me, isn't that the ultimate paying it forward? That was just such a incredible feeling to be able to know, yeah, well, if I've done it, I can show anyone how to do it.
Yeah, yeah. Everything that you think and feel on a deep meditative level is real.
Mm.
Thoughts are things. Imaginal acts create physical facts. So, this feeling that you have within you as you contemplate the relief, finally,
Mm.
man, it's been a long time coming, but it
Yeah,
happened in the most gracious way. And I'm so grateful for the way it happened.
yeah, yeah.
As
Gratitude
you
is a big
as,
one.
as you feel that on a deep meditative level, I want you to remember that what you are feeling and experiencing is real. So, what we're going to do now, we've developed this space that you can enter into that produces this feeling for you. And this feeling is so powerful because it implies that everything that you want, including that course doing well over 2000,
Yeah.
has already happened. All of it and more is encompassed in that feeling of relief.
Mm,
Finally,
mm,
I was able to place this piece on the puzzle and I can replicate it. I can do it again. There's this new platform I'm standing on, this new confidence I have. So, what we're going to do now is the button to this. We're going to create the emotional trigger
mhm,
so you can re enter this space in a meditative state. In
okay.
order to do this, right now we have already really kind of identified a trigger, and it's that word finally.
Hmm.
Every time I've said it so far, you have had an emotional reaction to that while it's wrapped in the context of what I'm saying. Despite everything I've been through, despite all the doubt, despite all the challenges, despite the $25, I pushed through and thank God I did because finally I get to see this beautiful scene of my life. Tell me, when it's put that way, how does that make you feel?
Bliss. Yeah. Um, It's like happy beyond words, elated, I guess.
That's it. Just let it soak in. There's nothing that you need to do. Just let it soak all in your heart. That's right. This time was coming. It was going to happen. You just didn't know when it was going to happen. You were working on it, but you're here and you're past that point.
Yeah.
It's like on the beach when you're going deep into the water and the water gets deeper, and then you finally get to that sandbar. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. You're so far deep in the water, people are wondering, how is she so far out there? She's on the sandbar. She was able to go deep past that point where the water got to her neck. And now she's standing on the part of the ocean where she can be waist level, even though she's so far into the water.
Yeah.
You're at that place now. There's no possibility of falling back unless you choose to go back. But if you do choose to go back, it'll be to bring somebody to where you are today. You can take this feeling and then lock it inside your heart with the most beautiful ribbon, knowing that it'll stay there forever. And it is yours. It belongs to you just as much as you belong to it. You guys are best friends. And there's no anxiety or fear that it'll go away because it is there wrapped around your heart in that beautiful ribbon. And whenever you want to feel that again, you can simply just place your hand over your heart and just remember that close friend that you have. And even when it seems like you might have forgotten that feeling, every time you place your hand on your heart, you can just take a deep breath and bring that energy back inside your heart. And then exhale all of that previous anxiety that's so jealous. It's so jealous because you have a new friend now and you have no space for them.
It's true.
And when you exhale it, you bless that energy with grace. The energy that no longer serves you anymore, that anxiety and doubt, you bless it to leave you with grace. Because it did serve you to a point, but you have no more use for it now. But now you have space for this new feeling, this new friend of yours, this new peace, this new relief. You can stay there as long as you like, and when you're ready, you can come back.
Wow. I've got a little panda eyes going on here. Just so people know it's really real.
Mm. Yeah.
But that's okay. Not important.
You did great. Yeah.
Oh, that was amazing.
And you know what's crazy? That was all inside of you. You just didn't know how to find it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like a maze going on there. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Like trying to get there. It is like a maze, like a labyrinth, you know. Oh, and you know, when you're in a labyrinth, you can sense that on the other side of the wall is possibly where you need to be, but you go all the way along and you can't get there that way, and you go all the way back and along, and that's not it. So you kind of got to go back over your steps, and that's the frustration. And you know that I just need to get over that wall, but I have to go around, or I have to go through it.
Mm.
Mm.
But now you know you can just go through it, or you can imagine the walls aren't there. Because the truth of the matter is that you are the creator of your reality, and your imagination is the most powerful tool that belongs to you. And through symbolism and meaning, you can construct the most wonderful feeling within you. As you rewatch this, you'll see all the symbolism I used that was wrapped with meaning to take what we already had and make it even deeper. And it's yours. You can never lose that. So, what do you do now? One, there's nothing that you have to do. This is what you get to do. So
Okay.
you can either, over the next 3 days,
Yep.
meditate as you go to sleep, or you can meditate just in the middle of your day, maybe for 30 minutes. If you decide to do it as you go to sleep, don't sleep in the position you normally sleep in. If you
Okay.
normally sleep on your back, sleep on your side. If you
Okay.
normally sleep on your side, sleep on your stomach. You want to be just a little bit uncomfortable so you don't
Okay.
fall asleep right away.
Okay.
Fully relax your body. You can count down from 20 or 30. And as you're doing that, inhale deeply, exhale, fully relax your body. Once you're fully relaxed, I want you to go to 2025. I want you to feel 2025. Imagine it's like a Saturday night, and maybe you just had dinner with your family. You guys, maybe some local place over there. You guys just had a nice Saturday night, and now you're resting 2 years from now. Get really present with that time. Friday night, Saturday night. Feel what Saturday night feels like. Once you get present with that future time, I want you to reflect on. I want you to think in your mind about how grateful you are to yourself that you never quit.
Mm.
And finally, I see what was on the other side of that wall.
Mm.
I see what it looks like with that puzzle piece placed there. Finally, and I'm so grateful that I didn't stop. And as you go to sleep over these next 3 nights, live into that and think from that as you go to sleep. And
Okay.
you will find that the most wonderful feeling will wrap around you, as if God had placed a blanket around you. And that's all you need to do.
I can do that.
Okay.
Yep. Done.
That was wonderful. If you're watching this, give Sharon a clap right now. Pat her on the back virtually. Leave a comment down below. Express your love for Sharon. Leave a like, because that is what happens when you're able to get into that space. That space is yours. You own it. It's yours. And if you can go into that space, stay in that space, you'll create from that space. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to let you be on your own. Even though we're recording this, I'm going to end this and leave you. So you
Okay.
can take a moment to yourself right now while this is so deep, and just really live that. As far as this video, you have access to it very soon, so you can
Thank you.
rewatch it. Okay,
Yeah.
Sharon?
Thank you, with such gratitude in my heart. Thank you, Evan. This has been beyond so good.
It's my pleasure. Okay, I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.